Welcome back to the channel. Most of you will hopefully have seen Freddie Dobbs' recent video where he unveiled the Triumph Thunderbird 900 that he went all the way to Cornwall to fetch. And I watched that video and I've seen so many comments where people are saying, get in touch with the works. Joe, look out for a call. The works are gonna get a call to sort this out. And in truth, I've had a call from Freddie Dobbs. Now, he's been gloating. He thinks he's absolutely smashed this challenge, and Matt and Danny don't stand a chance because he got the bargain of the century. I'm not so sure. I'm going to show you around the bike that is just out of shot now, and the brutal, honest detail of the condition that it's in. And yeah, we'll see whether this bike's going to actually get to Scotland and back in a month's time. But I think he was right about buying a Thunderbird. Give me a second. Here it is, in all its glory. Triumph Thunderbird 900. It is a 1995 model. It is in this beautiful blue colour, which turns out was a factory only option. You couldn't order this at the dealer. And what do you think? I cannot take the smile off my face, because that moment, I mean, you may have seen the B-roll, there was a lot of rabbits jumping around in this field, and I feel exactly like them, because I have to say, I think this is the deal of the century. I did have a call from Freddie. We were chatting about some other stuff. And I says, how do you get in on this Scotland challenge? And he just said, well, yeah, just buy a motorcycle. And then I saw his video and I thought, game on. I'm going to Scotland as well. So, how did this come about for me? Now, you might remember a couple of months ago, Emily and I took Freddie's bike back to him. And over that weekend, we were sitting in the evenings having some drinks, some food. And we got to talking about going touring and how you would do it. And I said, I don't think I'd want to go on like an adventure bike, your typical, tool for that job. And so I had that 955i Tiger a few years ago. I did Scotland on, and it was really comfortable, but it doesn't have that walk away appeal. And he was like, yeah, I've always thought the same. So then obviously the Scotland thing come around, and this is where we are. And I'd never actually been all that close to one of these. And I'm really, really surprised. He's definitely nailed it on the head. Like the quality is brilliant. What's amazed me most of all is like the finish, the powder coating. There's a couple of spots where the seat's rubbed underneath here, but the frame is so good. The fasteners, like everything is, where it can be stainless, it's stainless. If it's Galvor cadmium coated, it's still held on to the coating. The wheels, they're, I think they're anodized hubs. They're Acron rims, aluminium rims, and stainless spokes. And I think they're actually hand built down at Coleshill. There's just so much about them. And I know people have a bit of contention about the 900 engine and the aesthetic of it and how it works. It's a bit big. But in reality, if you think back to the time when these were being built, or the concept was coming around, there wasn't really a retro, modern classic, oh, there's a van coming, I thought. There wasn't really a retro, modern classic market. So to try that out and tool up for a complete, a twin engine to hark back to the Bonneville and all that, and what goes into that for manufacturing. When you don't know the market is there, then it makes total sense that they would use a proven engine that they knew worked well and was selling well anyway, and then style it in this way. If that was successful, obviously that paves the way. But I am completely blown away by this bike so far, and I've literally just collected it and ridden it over here. So I think let's get on the bike, go a bit of a ride out, not too far, and then pull up and I will tell you all about this specific deal and how I've beaten Freddie Dobbs. Now, what I'm not going to do is use the word perfect, because it's definitely not. But I can't stop smiling. I'm really enjoying this motorcycle. And I do think I may have won. I've definitely beaten Freddie, I think. But you can tell me that in the comments. Now, what I can say is I paid the princely sum of £1,300 for this bike. Now, I know what you're saying, what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Freddie only paid £1,250 for his. And this is true. However, this was only an hour away from my house, and Luke drove me there, and I didn't pay him for any fuel, so it didn't cost me anything. And I'm pretty sure for the 5-hour train journey, Freddie's train tickets probably cost more than the £50 extra this bike cost. I might be wrong. And I can also tell you that this bike has 22,000 miles on it. That's it. For most of its life, it went to Triumph for servicing, and at each of those services, I couldn't believe this when I was reading the paperwork, but each of those services, the previous owners paid for everything, major service every time. So oil, filter, fluids, brake, clutch, coolant, and spark plugs at virtually every service. I must have receipts for 5 sets of spark plugs in 22,000 miles, which I want to know where those spark plugs are. But yeah, all round it is pretty good. And like I say, I'm not going to say it's perfect. It definitely needs some things. Now, there's some cosmetic things, but we have to remember it is, God, 31 years old. So the front mudguard has got quite a rough scab. We've got a bit of a weepy fork seal here. It's not raining out, but that's on the basis of knowing how much oil is in there. So it needs that doing. I'm going to service it anyway, because I would never take it on word that it's been done recently. The most immediate previous owner, last year I believe it was in the receipts, had new ignition coils fitted and the carbs completely stripped, ultrasonic cleaned and put back together. So I've got no problems there. It's running absolutely spot on. What I have noticed is the intake rubbers are quite perished. So I'm going to order a set of those, so I'll get those fitted, which apparently is quite awkward, but I'm sure we can manage. And I think principally that's it. Like, then just ride it. I was so astounded. Beginning of this season, previous owners put 2 brand new tyres on. The front one has still got all the moulding pips on it. I've taken a few off with the few miles I've done, but they are brand new Bridgestone Battle Axe tyres on it. 2,000 miles ago, the rear caliper was rebuilt at Triumph. It's just, yeah, let me know what you think, because I am in complete shock. I didn't think I would get this bike for that price. This bike was originally listed on Facebook Marketplace at £2,200. And we just had a really nice conversation, and I explained the situation with the challenge, and he was just like, I think I can get there. He's replaced the bike, he bought a Kawasaki Vulcan, and in doing so, my suspicion is that he took it in for trading and they offered him absolute peanuts for it, and as a result, anything over that is a bonus. But yeah, I am very happy. Let me know what you think, guys, because we're gonna have a couple of videos on this, getting it ready. I've got 3 weeks to sort this out, and we're gonna see the return of somebody to the channel who I'm actually gonna see tomorrow to have a quick look at this and see what miracle they can perform. But until then, I hope this has been a fun one. It's a bit of a parody video, and I hope you like the new bike, because I love it.